Hello guys, so in this video I'll be going over linear equations. Now linear equations are similar to linear expressions in a way that they both should have variables with the power 1 only. So the power of variables must be 1 in linear equations and linear expressions. But in expressions, we did not have an equal to sign, but in equations, we must have equal to sign. Right? If these two conditions are being fulfilled, then we can claim that it is a linear expression, right? So let's look at it. So for example, if you had something like x plus 3 is equal to 4. So this means that the left hand side of the equation must be equal to the right hand side of the equation, right? So x must have a value that makes this equal to this. So what will be that value of x? So when you add 0 in 3, so you get 3. So 0 cannot be a value of x, since then the equation will not be equal, right? So 0 plus 3 is not equal to 4. So then this will not be fulfilled. So 0 cannot be x. Now let's look at 1. So 1 plus 3 is 4. Now since 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, so it is fulfilling the condition, like the left hand side will be equal to right hand side. So the value of x can be 1. So x will be equal to 1. Now obviously there are infinite numbers, so we cannot test each and every number. So what we usually do is that we know that everything on the left hand side of the equation must be equal to whatever that is happening on the right hand side of the equation. So we take that fact into advantage. And how do we do that? Whatever we do on the left hand side of the equation, we have to do the same thing on the right hand side of the equation. So what do I mean by that? For example, if you're adding 2 over here plus 2, then you have to add plus 2 over here too, right? So then since this was equal to this, then plus 2 will be equal to plus 2. So in this case, x was equal to 1, right? So 1 plus 3 is 4. So 4 plus 2 is 6 and 4 plus 2 is 6. So 6 is equals to 6. So this will be true, right? So whatever we do on the left hand side, we have to do the same thing on the right hand side of the equation. So how do we use that into our advantage? So for example, we have x plus 3 is equal to 4 over here, right? So we do that by doing, now we only want x on one side of the equation and all the numbers on the other side of the equation. So in some way we have to eliminate plus 3 from here. How can you make this plus 3 0? By subtracting 3 from it. So if you write plus 3 minus 3, then you have to write minus 3 on the other side of the equation too. Now since plus 3 minus 3 will make 0, so x plus 0 is equals to 4 minus 3 is 1. Since anything plus 0 or minus 0 is the number itself, like 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 minus 0 is 1, right? So when you subtract or add 0 from any number, it's the number itself. So x plus 0 will be x, right? So x is equal to 1. That's how we solve an equation. So let's look at some other example. So let's say we have something like so 7 plus x is equals to 13, right? Now we only want x on this side of the equation, right? So how can we do that? We can eliminate 7 by subtracting 7. So we have positive 7 over here, so we will write the same number but with the opposite sign. So 7, and then we write the same number with opposite sign, plus x gets copied down. We do the same thing on the other side of the equation, so we'll write minus 7 over here too. So 7 minus 7 is 0, so we are only left with x. So x is equal to 13 minus 7 is 6. So the value of x is 6, right? Now let's look at something that is a little more complex. Now let's see if we have something like 2x is equals to 4. Now since 2 is being multiplied over here, so we can counteract that by dividing 2. So we will divide 2 on both sides of the equation. When we divide 2, so 2 and 2 gets cancelled out, so we'll be only left with x over here. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now you can check your answer by putting 2 in the original equation. So 2, and we put 2 instead of x, and then 4. So 4 is equals to 4. So our answer is correct, right? In the same way, if we had something like x divided by 6 is 36, right? So since 6 is being divided over here, we can counteract it by multiplying 6 on both sides, right? So when you multiply 6 on both sides, the 6 over here gets cancelled. We will only be left with x. So we have x, and 36 into 6 is 216. So x, the answer of x will be 216. Again, you can check this by putting it in over here. So our original equation was x divided by 6 is 36. So instead of x, now we'll put 216. So 216 divided by 6 is 36. So our answer is correct, right? So let's look at another example. So let's say if we have something like minus 3x plus 3 is equal to 9. So first of all, you will eliminate this. Whatever is being added or subtracted from the variable, you will eliminate that. Now you can eliminate this by writing the same number but in opposite sign. So what I mean by that is that you will write minus 3x plus 3, copy down the equation, and equal to 9. But over here you will write 3, which is the same number but with opposite sign, so minus 3. And then you do the same thing on the other side of the equation, so you'll write minus 3 over here too, right? So plus 3 minus 3 will get cancelled out, since plus 3 minus 3 is 0. So then we'll be left with this. So minus 3x is equal to 9 minus 3 is 6. So we'll be left with minus 3x is equal to 6. Now since minus 3 is being multiplied over here, we can counteract it by dividing minus 3. So we'll divide minus 3 over here. Now whatever we do on this side of the equation, we'll have to do it on the other side of the equation too. So we divide minus 3 over here too. So minus 3 gets cancelled out over here. So we are only left with x, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2. And since this is positive and this is negative, so we'll have negative sign, since the signs are both not same, right? So x will be equal to minus 2. You can check this by putting it in the original equation. So minus 3, instead of x you put minus 2. Then we have plus 3 is equal to 9. Let's check it. So 3 into 2 is 6. Now since the signs are both same, minus and minus, so they will multiply and become positive. So positive 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. So 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. So our answer is correct, since the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, right? Now what if you have variables on both sides of the equation? So let's say we have something like 3x plus 4 is equal to x minus 10, right? So what you do is, and you will do the same thing, you'll group the variables together and the constants together. So let's just so for doing that, we'll have to bring the x over here and the 4 over there. Now how can you do that? So since the x is getting plused over here, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write 3x over here, and since the x was positive over here, when it will come to the other side of the equation, it will get negative. So this will be negative x, right? Wait, I'll just write it in a different color. So this will become negative x, right? Then on this side of the equation, we have minus 10, right? This x went over there, so I'm going to cancel that out. Now we have negative 10, and then I'm bringing 4 on this side. So since the 4 was positive over here, it will get negative over here. So then we'll have negative 4 over here. Now what's the logic behind it? Now if we do it in the way which we were following earlier, so let's say 3x plus 4 is equal to x minus 10, right? Now if I want to eliminate x over here, So what I'll do is I'll write the same number but with opposite sign. So I'll write the same number x but with opposite sign. So I'm writing the same number x but with opposite sign. So the sign was positive over here, so I'll write negative over here, right? And I have to, so whatever I do on this side of the equation, I have to do it here. So I'm going to write negative x over here too. So I'll have 3x plus 4 minus x is equal to positive x, negative x, they will get cancelled out, and I will have minus 10. So you see I have 3x minus x over here, and I have 3x minus x over here too, right? And to counteract plus 4 over here, I'll write the same number but with a different sign, but with the opposite sign. So I'll write 3x plus 4, same number but with the opposite sign. And I have to do the same thing over there. So minus 10 minus 4. So positive 4 and negative 4 gets cancelled out. So we have 3x minus x on this side and minus 10 minus 4 on this side, which is the same as this, right? So that's the logic which we use, that whatever is on the, so that when you transfer a number or a term from one side of the equation to the other side, the sign becomes the opposite. And that's what I did over here. So 3x minus x will be 2x, right? And then minus 10 minus 4, the signs are same. So we'll add them. So negative, and 10 plus 4 is 14. So this will be negative 14. And then the 2 is getting multiplied over here. So when you bring it on the other side of the equation, it will get divided, right? And if you follow the earlier way, that is exactly what was happening, that to counteract this, you were dividing it on both sides of the equation. So 2 and 2 were cancelled out. But you usually don't have to show this step. So you can directly show that we are only dividing it, that we are sort of transferring it on the other side of the equation. And to do that, we have to divide it. So we'll divide it over here, right? So this becomes x is equal to minus 14 divided by 2, which is minus 7. So minus 7 will be our answer. You can do that. You can check the answer by putting it over here. So 3 times minus 7 plus 4 is equal to minus 7 minus 10. So 3 times minus 7 is minus 21 plus 4. The signs are same. So we'll add them. So 7 plus 7 is 17. Signs are different, so we'll subtract them, and sign of the greater number will be copied down, so minus, and then 21 minus 4 is 17. So minus 17 is equal to minus 17. So our answer was correct, right? Let's look at one more example. So let's say we have minus 2, 3x minus 4, and then 4, 2x plus 5, right? So first you will expand it. You'll multiply the 2 with this, and you'll multiply the 4 with this and with this. So minus 2 into 3 is minus 6x, and minus minus becomes positive, and 2 into 4 is 8. 4 into 2 is 8, x follows, 4 into 5 is 20. Now you do the same thing when you'll bring this on this side of the equation. The signs will be changed, so minus 6x, and the sign changes from plus to negative. So we write the same number but with the opposite sign. And when you bring this to the other side of the equation, so we have 20 over here, but we have positive 8 over here. So when it goes on the other side of the equation, the number will remain same but with the opposite sign. So here the signs are same but the numbers signs are same, so we'll add them. So the sign remains the same, and 6x plus 8x is 14x. And the signs are different, so we'll subtract them, sign of the greater value, so positive. 20 minus 8 is 12, right? Now minus 14 is being multiplied over here, so we'll divide it on the other side of the equation. So x is 12 divided by minus 14. Now you simplify it. 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 times 7 is 14. So x will be equal to minus 6 over 7, which will be our answer. That's it for this video. I hope you all learned something. Goodbye.